Hey, everybody. I hope everybody is well, staying well, not going.
We can hear you, Gina.
Hey, everybody. I'm glad you're joining us. I hope, first off, everybody is well and staying healthy. I'm not going to stir crazy. I know that we're all cooped up together, so I hope you're all staying healthy. While you're at home, I wanted to, before we get started, highly encourage you to visit my website, www.businessofone.com. Please read the letter. We are a community of independent lifestyle professionals that have been forgotten. And so I am prepared to go to DC at the federal level and fight for you and be the voice and let Congress know that we will not be forgotten. So please visit my website, www.businessofone.org. Sign up, fill out the template. Get it over to your local representatives. And if you have already, thank you so much. But send it again and again and again and again. We are in this fight together. I refuse for us to be forgotten. And please flood Congress with your voice. So thank you so much. We're in this fight together and we're going to get through it. So I thought it would be really fun, since we are hitting spring, to do some fun spring colors. And so we are bringing you Purple-Licious, which is the class that my beautiful team is going to be doing. I have my international artistic director, John Altman, and my international artist, Heather Nita. Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Doing great.
Doing good.
Good. Well, I just thought it would be so fun to play around with the purples and violets. And so I'll let you two take it away. And please, we welcome any questions. We just want to have fun. It's an interactive class. And so let's start coloring our life.
Sounds great. So everybody, we're going to have you do is make sure that you have everything ready, because it's a short little class. I have 4 different formulations I'm going to go over with you guys, and we're all going to do it live together for the people that got their Try Me kits. So make sure you have your bowls, your brushes, your scale if you have a
We
scale, because
might be
that would be
having
great.
some, please be patient. We might be having some technical difficulties. I think everybody at home being bogged down on the internet. So please stay with us. We will get back connected here. I think
Am I
everybody,
not?
with everybody working from home, has got everything kind of messed up. So please stay on. If you lost connection, we're going to try to jump back on here and get this class going. Thank you for your patience.
Can everybody hear me?
Nope, I can't hear you.
Gina, you can't hear me?
Okay, John, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. I think we're good.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're good.
And
Hey,
I just
everybody.
got a message from Kathy that she can actually hear us and see us. So
Well, hey,
thank you
guys.
for that.
We're back on. Sorry, please. Like I said, be patient. I think the internet is just super bogged down. So if we lose connection, we'll just jump off and jump back on. But hey, let's have some fun.
Okay, so like I was saying, put your swatches, your foils out. Make sure to have some brushes. I do have my gloves because I know everybody says we have to color with gloves. So also put tinfoil down on your kitchen counter. I learned the hard way earlier this week that it does sometimes get on your kitchen counter, and luckily bleach does clean up everything, thank God. So I am all set up here. I'm going to have Heather go ahead and talk to us about why violet, why purple.
Yeah, Purple-licious. So we decided to do some fun colors today with the violets because number one, maybe some of you don't do that in the salon. Maybe we don't do that many fashion shades. And now is a perfect time for us to exercise our minds and just kind of get involved in color, which is super fun and exciting. The other thing is if you think about it, color correction, we use violets and blues a lot to help cancel out some things. And one thing we're going to show you today also is that if you understand violet, you can actually end up adding more dimension to a color, giving it a nice background and depth, and we can just have some really fun with it. So we're going to show you 4 colors today. Now, many of you have your timing kits, which is great. And if you don't have them right now, they'll come in the mail if you've already signed up for it. And this is what we're going to go through. As you can see that there is a dark and dimension, there's darkness all the way up to the lighter shade. So we're going to be able to achieve this with the 3 tubes of color that you were given, as well as the color producer also. So we'll start here with this first top corner. And John is going to give us, isn't one of those beautiful? You guys, seriously, so pretty. So to give us a better idea, he's actually going to give us a little bit more of a vantage point so we can see more in depth of what we're going to do.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lower my screen so you guys can see my little work area.
Perfect.
How's that look? Okay, first I'm going to put my gloves on.
And you notice he has a beautiful canvas right there. He's got all of it clean and ready to go. So since we're doing this along with us, you guys can also get that together.
So the first thing we're going to do is a color that I actually do in the salon quite a bit. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start mixing. So if you're at home getting ready to mix with us, we're going to do 5 grams of 5.22 with 1 gram of 0.22. And we're going to do this with 9 grams of 20 volume. Now, usually you don't have to use 20 volume every time. The reason we're doing it is because these little things are very resistant. We really want to be able to see it.
And the 20 volume is also going to help give that vibrancy that we want to see. And that's part of the reason why the mixing ratio is 1 to 1.5 versus 1 to 2 in that demo application, like you said. So we got the first color mixing is a 5.22. And next is the 0.22.
Now, this is our pure mixer, so it's a bright color.
The pure mixer is a direct dye. It's literally just the pigment, which is awesome.
As you can see in this bowl. Now, the thing is before I put my developer in, I'm going to mix these guys together. Because have you ever noticed when you put your developer in, all of a sudden it doesn't mix right? And you can see little specks of the purple floating around. Well, this will take care of that for us.
Absolutely.
So now we have this beautiful color. I'm going to take my scale and I'm going to put 9 grams of 20 volume developer in it.
And again, for those of us who are just joining us, we're using this first shade. The darkest, deepest is 5.22 plus the 0.22 and your 20 volume 1 to 1.5 ratio. Pre-mix those colors prior to getting the color producer.
And
look at that creaminess.
You can see how easily this mixes now since I did mix the 2 shades prior.
Nice and smooth application. That's great.
Now, one thing that I love about our bowls, they have these little dots here. I don't know if you can probably see them on your screen. It's a great little way to clean my brush. So I'm going to go ahead and start on this swatch. Now, swatches, I'm a stickler with these. Make sure that you actually get it, fan it out as you are painting on.
So
then I'm going to
the
flip
front
it
side first, which is awesome. And then you're going to do the back as well.
And those of you that are watching, please ask questions away. If there's anything you want to rehear or relearn, or you are not clear on, please ask us questions. We're here to answer them.
So again, because we're using the 20 volume, we're using this 1 part color to 1.5 parts color producer. So that's the mixing ratio. And it looks beautiful already, just right off the bat.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with our second one.
Awesome.
Now, our second one is going to be more of just a purple. This is going to be 5 grams of 0.02 with 1 gram of 5.22. Okay, so Heather, explain what the 0.02 is.
The 0.02 is our no lift toners. Those are direct pods we use in a demi application, generally speaking. So they are very beautiful and very light, but they're also, it's just, there's no extra ammonia. It's not really high in that. The other thing is, so I'm saying the 0.02 is a lighter shade, and then he's putting just a little bit of the 5.22 because the 5 carries weight. It has a level. Whereas the 0.02 is got no level. It's just
a toner.
That's right. Which then makes sense as to why it would be a little bit lighter, because you're not getting that weight with the color.
And once again, I'm pre-mixing the two colors together just to make sure I get a beautiful blend of the color.
Before adding the producer, same application here, guys. Because we're using 20 volume because of the stiffness of the swatches, we want to ensure that they will lift and be beautiful and bright. So we're using 20 volume, 1 part color to 1.5 parts color producer. Pre-mixing that color beforehand will allow you to have the beautiful spreadability that we all love and the creaminess that Colors by Gina offers us.
This has to be the easiest color I've ever mixed, honestly.
It's
out
true.
of anything I've ever done. Because you can see right there.
Yeah, and you literally just became this, put your brush up to the thing just like how, yeah, how like easy it'll glide back on there too. Glides right on.
Once again, getting the front side of this done. How many of you got your kits and are able to do this at home? Let us know.
Yeah, who's doing that? Who's coloring at home beside us, as we see in the comments? Who's doing it? Awesome.
I know Julie Reeves is. She sent me a message the other day that she got her kit. So yes, I'm calling you out for it.
So hopefully you're coloring your life right here with the Purple-Licious class. So the second tone of purple is, again, the 0.02, which are no lift toners, with the 5.22.
Now, since this is a no lift toner, you can see how it's almost it's more of just that creamy color still. It doesn't have that violet tint yet. But wait about 20 minutes, you're going to start seeing that vibrancy coming out in this.
And as it oxidizes, exactly, and it needs that time to kind of temper itself. I love it. So moving on to the next one.
Well, just real quick, look how vibrant this one is turning already. It was before, but this is our first formula. Right,
and because of that pure mixer, the 0.22, it's kind of awesome because it already gives you that lovely purple shade. All right, number 3. And honestly, guys, we want to see this like on like get a piece of your bang and do it. No, I'm just kidding, but you can
get a white piece of paper.
Yeah, white piece. We're going to show you how it looks on paper, just so you can see exactly what it looks like, which is beautiful and creamy. And also, as you're doing this, you'll notice the spreadability. Now, one thing to note about the difference of why this is because we have something unique called biotin complex. Now, biotin complex is biotin with fetal collagen, which is amazing, and it's supercharged with baobab, but it is giving us that lovely, luxurious feeling to it because it adds all that moisture and all those nutrients with the biotin plus the collagen, which is great for hair, which is great for skin, which is great for beauty in general. So we're really fortunate to have that. And you'll notice that as you mix and get your hands in this, that you'll notice a slight difference than other products for sure.
The one also thing that I love, big tubes, 3-ounce tubes.
Yeah, 3 ounces it's great. Okay.
Once again, you can see how the two colors are just sitting there together. Let's mix those together. And when you pre-mix,
now, John,
like I said.
On that again?
Do what?
Your formula again on that?
This one is going to be the lilac. So this is going to be 5 grams of 0.02. So once again, we're using the toner. And then we're going to do 1 gram of our pure mixer 0.22.
Awesome. So you
okay, so what that's
different. Yeah.
And what it's doing is with that 0.02 and then adding this brightness to it, it's going to give us a lighter shade, but with a lot of brightness to it.
Because the double tubes, because that extra violet pigment, which is fantastic.
And what's really nice is, as Heather was speaking, the Biogen complex that is in the Colors by Gina actually helps promote very minimal fading. So it's awesome.
Absolutely. The faded, and especially with these kind of colors, if you are using them in the vibrant application, a lot of times people want their hair to stay longer, and we can provide them with a beautiful color that won't just leave in a week or so, as long as they're taking care of their self at home as well. And that's what we come in. We're like doctors, and we try to help them prescribe at home care as well.
You can see how rich and creamy this is. I love it.
And again, this is the third color. It's a little bit lighter. It's the 0.02 plus the 0.22. Which gives us that no lift
Questions? I can't see.
plus the vibrant.
Let me see them if they're coming on.
So that was the color Fabiola. I just saw that. The color again, this number third one is the 0.02, 5 grams of that with 1 gram of the 0.22 with the 20 volume, 9 grams of that. Still, all of these guys will be 1 to 1.5 mixing ratio, just so you can know that across the board and write that down to remind us.
Hey guys, so we have a question. Hey Joan, thanks for watching. So Joan's question is, how long are you going to process?
I'm going to process these at 35 minutes because I'm doing these as permanent hair color. So with 20 volume in any of our permanent hair color line, even with gray coverage, we're only 35 minutes. So with the 20 volume, 35 minutes. If this was with 5 volume, which is I did my permanent, I would only do 20 minutes.
Absolutely. So there's the third formulation.
Now, real quick to remind you what that's going to look like. It's going to be right here. Okay, so this is going to turn out to be more of like this beautiful lilac color.
So this is a really great way too, guys. So you notice how the lighter shades might be really interesting to introduce your clients into something a little bit more dimensional, as we mentioned in the beginning. If they're a natural blonde, if they want to throw in a little bit of that lilac, it would be really complementary for certain skin tones. It also gives them just a little bit of pop and love. You can apply these in foils. You can apply them directly to the hair as well and give them that beautiful glide and painted balayage techniques, whatever, what have you. The other thing is that if you wanted to, on a lot of brunettes, violets are really complementary to brunettes and skin tone and things like that as well. So you can actually use that on its own in like foiling, alternating, or you can actually add some of this to your natural color and give it a really cool effect.
Real quick, can you guys see the tone on that? So this was the one, remember, it was almost just a creamy, it didn't have any tone to it. I can't tell on my camera if you can see. It's starting to go ahead and get in that violet shade to it already. So this is the second one I had done. The 0.02 with the 1 gram of 5.22 just to give it some depth.
So John, how would you maybe, entertain the idea with your client for them to try one of these violet tones? Somebody that might be a little bit skeptical, or, what creative ways do you think are good to, invite your client to try it?
Especially right now, we want pops of color in our hair. A lot of people are coming in asking just around the face, I just need something light. I don't want it to be too crazy, but I need something different. This is perfect in my opinion because it does start washing out. Even if it's a permanent hair color, we all know that these colors will start fading. So I think this is a great way, especially the lighter color that we just did with the 0.02 with the 1 gram of the pure mixer. I really think that's a great color to use on people that want to try something just slightly different or give them some dimension. The darker is actually one of my clients' favorites. You take the eggplant color, make it a little bit brighter, and it becomes more of a plum. They seem to really love that. We also have great gray coverage with that because one of my clients can tell you about that. She gets it every 6 weeks. It's a beautiful color. It fades beautifully and still has that violet tint when she comes in.
Yeah, and definitely, like we were talking about before, that this is an opportunity to, introduce something different. And whether it be an all over hue, when they're a step outside, they go, oh my gosh, my hair looks so awesome. And has a little bit of violet. So it's like an undercover fun thing. That's another way to show how mixable. This stuff is so mixable. Mixable? Is that a word? It mixes so well that you can add a little bit of life into the color. And really what it ends up looking like is dimension. And as John said, some people actually favor that after you introduce them to that thing, for sure. So this final one, John, let's talk about that.
So this is 4 grams of our Pure Mixer 0.22. And then I'm going to put 6 grams of the 20 volume. So once again, to that 1 to 1.5 mixture.
So by using the 0.22,
this is going to be more of a vibrant light color because there's not a level to it. There is no base to it. This is just going to be our pure mixer. So this will be more of your fashion shade for somebody that wants it to fade quicker, wants to see something a little bit more vibrant and give it just more of a pop.
I was going to say, you can already tell, even looking in the bowl and like mixing it, that it definitely has a lot more pigment to it.
So John, someone who is just joining us wanted to know what is the 4th mixture.
The 4th mixture, this one right here is 4 grams of 0.22. So that's our, that is actually our pure mixer. And this is mixed with just 20 volume. So it's 4 grams to 1 to 1.5. Is that too bright? I can't tell if you guys can see that or not.
Yeah, it's a little bright.
But I'll take your word for it. It's 0.22, our pure
there we
mixer.
go.
Oh.
So the pure mixer, as you can see on its own, like as John mentioned, it is more of it'll be vibrant, but it also is it's a deposit. It's not going to have the weight of the 5.22 or the level that will help it boost up.
And once again, when you're doing swatches, make sure to fan these out so you really make sure you get great coverage on these swatches. I always see people do swatches and then it's almost clear in the middle, or it's not as that doesn't have the depth throughout it, and it's because they didn't properly apply it.
Right.
Which is a perfect way to guys, just in general, to how to apply a violet or a vibrant shade on a natural piece of hair. Someone who, when we get to touch people again, which is great, we'll be able to use these techniques, even still, how beautiful the saturation is there. And John, you notice obviously the spreadability of that. It's able to glide on there beautifully as well as saturate and deposit.
Absolutely. You know, honestly, we mixed up 6 grams because it's easy. Okay, because we can break that down. You maybe needed 1 gram if that. I mean, this color will move quickly through hair. I have noticed for a retouch, I usually only need maybe 24 grams of color. And then that's less than a whole ounce of color to do a retouch.
Perfect. So how are we all doing, you guys? You guys are doing well with these swatches. Let's go over those formulas one more time for those who are joining us. And also, just as a recap, we want to show you that. Go ahead, John.
So the first one right there, it's labeled number 4. The reason it's number 4 is because I did like literally 13 to 15 of these swatches to see what would be the best to teach you guys and what would be the best color for you to use in your salon. So number 4 is 5.22. It is 5 grams of 5.22, 1 gram of the pure mixer 0.22. Okay, that is with 9 grams of the color producer, which is our developer of 20 volume. Once again, we're doing 20 volume because these little suckers are so resistant. We want to make sure that you see the color and the vibrancy of the color.
Hey, John, can you bring that just a little bit closer or to the screen where, back up just a little bit up. Perfect. Yeah.
So I'm working on my laptop, guys. And
just if you could bring up, I'm sorry, John, if you could just well, hold it up and bring those closer and back away just a little bit so everybody can just get a really good look.
Well, and also when as we're talking about this, we do have a question as far as, John, what's your favorite? And then what's my favorite of these violet shades and how we use them?
So I have 2 favorites.
Okay, go for it.
So one of my favorites is going to be this plum color right here. Okay, so that's the 5.22 with a 1 gram of pure mixer of the 0.22. The reason for that, it's a beautiful darker shade that can be worn all over. It can go great as a starting color that can be color melted down into a lighter violet. My second one is going to be this one right over here. This has almost you can't really see it, but because of, unfortunately, we're all at home, as you know. And this is my kitchen, so welcome to my kitchen, everybody. Usually people come here to cook. I'm going to do color today, but with this one, it almost has more of that coolness to it. It's not as vibrant, but it shows a true purple to it. So it's one of my also favorites.
Wonderful. And if you're talking to me about like the lightness, I don't do too many fashion shades, but what I do end up doing with my violets is I end up adding them to my brunettes, and giving them, as I mentioned prior to, that kind of a balayage effect with a little bit of dimension with a little bit of the violet. I like to use the 5.22, even, I mean, we don't have those, but the 5.5 to add a little bit more of the mahogany plus the violet together to add a little bit more extra oomph to it, if you will.
So just as a visual,
Yes,
I
like
want to just wipe this down and show you guys real quick. Okay, so this was our first formula. So this is the 5.22. No, I don't have it in front of me. My 5 grams of 5.22 with just a little 1 gram of the 0.22. And you can see as we apply it on the paper what the actual color of this is. How's that looking with the lighting and the camera?
looks great.
Okay, so the next one is going to be,
The purple.
this is one of my favorites, the 0.02 with a 5.22. Remember, this was a white creamy. So as we apply this, I don't want that much. You can see it's starting to have that beautiful tone to it now.
The purple effect for sure.
Just very, very light tone, which is great. Like I said, for people that don't want a lot of brightness to their hair. Now let's go into the third one, which is 5.02 with 1 gram of 0.22. Now this one does not have a level at all. Remember that this is actually a toner mixed with our pure mixer. And you can see how much color is in that right there.
Yeah, it's direct.
And then we have the pure mixer, which is going to be your brightest and darkest looking at this time.
And that's the pure mixer on its own, and you absolutely can utilize this as such. But notice, obviously, by mixing in other colors, you are able to get the dimension and the difference of even. Oh, now you're just getting artistic. I like it.
I'm just having fun.
You can actually see
It's
how
got the
artistic you
swoosh.
can be with it. And it's interesting because here we are and the processing times are happening. Let's go ahead and check on those guys as they're processing. You would definitely leave it up to 35 minutes if you would like to make sure. And in those, oh, yay, I'm excited for this. One of the questions that we have with people too is that on many hair types or colors of hair, you have to pre-lift them. You have to lighten them beforehand in order for this to show up. Primarily if you want the vibrancy that we were talking about. And so we noticed that obviously on white, not everyone can get us to a white. So instead, John played around with some level 9. So some of us will lift to a level 8 or 9. And you notice still that you get the beautiful color still. Now, which
And
one
I
is
know,
this?
go ahead, Heather.
This one? Is this
This
the
one
first
is
one?
actually the 5.22 with 1 gram of 0.22. So you can see even on a level 9, which has a little bit of yellow, I'm not sure if you can see the direct color of it, but
Yeah,
it is
bring this.
still nice and bright.
Yeah, John, maybe bring the swatch, just the swatch up to the camera.
Oh yeah, I can
And
do
what we're
that.
going to do, guys, is we're going
Perfect.
to give you guys a comparison. We're going to give you an actual photo here on the page later, just so you can see what we did in the class today, as well as you can see and compare and what you did too. We also would love to see this. Any pictures you guys have of your own work. I mean, we always like to see what you do and have that conversation there.
So this is the one that kind of scared me a little bit. What would it do on a level 9? I'm going to be completely honest because this is the 0.02 with 1 gram of 5.22. Okay, so this is very light color. And I was like, is there enough pigment to really show to get rid of that yellow? And you can see on here, there was. It actually picked up just like the white did. It might be a little bit brighter, and that's because of the gold undertone. But honestly, it's still covered beautifully, even on a level 9 yellow.
And that's something to keep in mind too, guys. But as you are coloring, if you have someone who is quite yellow and who pulls quite brassy, you can almost mix accordingly. What I mean by that is that you can make sure that you're canceling out the yellow by still depositing extra of the violet. The violet will help. And that was the 0.02 with the 0.22, correct?
With a 5.22.
With the 5.22.
Yep.
Okay.
Now this is the 5.02 with 1 gram of 0.22. So it's still a nice, beautiful, bright color.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, right on top of that yellow level 9, it still gives you that vibrancy of the violet.
Perfect.
And then when you use just our pure mixers with 20 volume, this is on level 9 here once again. Now, I'm hoping you guys can see this as well as I can in person. I know you really can't because cameras never pick that up. But this is a beautiful, bright color for you. It's going to be more of that fashion color we're looking for.
And it gives you that. Now let's hold up the piece of paper so we can see it all a little bit closer to the camera. John,
This one?
so this is the beautiful on white paper that we could see already. I mean, how beautiful are those shades? It looks like a beautiful palette for hair, for lipstick, for eyeshadow. And you can notice that some of them are a little bit cooler and some of them have a little bit more, just a little bit more depth, obviously, with the level. But you could still give this myriad of purples, purple-licious, and giving all that. For sure.
Beautiful.
Now, we will have these formulations up for everybody because I know not everybody's going to want to sit here and just talk for 35 minutes, but while they process. But make sure if you have any questions about the purple, about any of our violet tones, about it, anything we can help you with right now, make sure to ask those questions so we can go ahead and answer those live for you.
Exactly. And also another thing is, guys, this is your chance too. I mean, obviously John did like 13 or 15. I mean, he did so many different swatches to kind of pick your favorite. That's the best part about color, is that we can make it our own. We can make our own plum or our own purplish, purple color, and give it whatever spin we want. Biggest thing is just to remind yourself that the ratio does kind of help you in keeping consistent results. In this application with the 20 volume on these swatches, we're doing 1 to 1.5. If you play with 1 to 2, just note that it will essentially add more producer, which, right, John? I mean, it'll just
yeah.
Up a bit.
Yeah, you just have to, if you're doing it with demi, you just have to add more producer, that's all. Because with our demi 5 volume, it's 1 to 2.
Yes, absolutely. And this will give you a lot of playing ground. Now, I'm loving this. I mean, John, as you said, we're just sitting around and watching this beautiful process happen. But we want to also introduce you guys to, we're going to be here weekly. This is something we want to give back to the community of hairstylists all over the world, if possible. And next week I'm going to be giving a technical class. So let's get technical. Let's talk about lightning dust and showing it in a foil application. I don't know about you guys, but when we get spring and we all jump back into our salons, I'm pretty sure everyone's going to want to do overhauls on every single one of their clients. But what I want to offer you is an idea and an easy application to help brighten and give a lot of impact to the hair without spending 5 hours doing it. So we're going to go through that next week. John, do you have something to add to that? Sorry, as I think about this.
Well, absolutely. We have a couple of different classes coming up. We're also going to play around with our reds and coppers. Also talk about how important blue is inside of our color line and inside of our lives with coloring hair. A lot of us are scared of certain tones. And during this time, I've been at home for 10 days. It sounds like we're going to be here for quite some time. Our salons in Colorado are shut down for 6 weeks, and I need some normalcy. And to me, this is normalcy, is playing with hair swatches, playing with color, talking to other stylists, because we need that connection still. We're not used to sitting at home, not having somebody in front of us or talking to somebody or talking hair. So this is a very important time for us to kind of come together and ask your questions and figure out what we can do to help you while you're sitting at home, and how we can all learn more about our craft and keep our craft going during this time frame. So I think next week is going to be great, watching Heather do a foil technique on a mannequin head, because we are going to be using mannequins. We are using our 6 foot different, what do they call that? Self-distancing. We have to make sure that so we can't have live models right now. But just coming up, just want to do some education for you guys to keep us all informed and keep us all together.
Another thing is we want to encourage you to dig out your mannequin heads out of whatever, from beauty school or whatever, or order them online. They're really affordable, and we can kind of play together a little bit, and that way you too also can go back into when we go back to work and we kind of get ourselves back in we're getting ourselves in fighting mode. We're in game shape, it's game time, it's practice, and this is going to help us by allowing these techniques to be second nature to us. So we're looking forward to doing that, and thank you so much for joining us. I mean, this has been super fun, and technical difficulties aside, we're super glad that you're here with us.
Well, and do we want to tell them about the Try Me kits?
Yes.
So, as we mentioned, we are going to be doing these weekly and staying connected, as John and Heather said, and learning to color our life as we're at home. So one way that Colors by Gina wants to give back is to send you, anyone who signs up for next week's class, a free Try Me kit. Like I said, it's one of the ways that Colors by Gina wants to give back to us artists while we're at home. All you will need to do is email Angie Birchler, and her email is abirchler@by-gina.com. Again, it's abirchler@by-gina.com. Make sure you email her so she can get a free Try Me kit out to you all, and we all look forward to staying connected and having these classes weekly, and like I said, learn to color your life.
Wonderful. And if you've never heard of us before, please click on colorsbygina.com. You'll learn all of the different applications and what we have in our line. It's amazing, and if you have personal questions, we'd be happy to answer those as well.
Yes. We are always here for you guys. You can go on our Colors by Gina page, ask questions. We're all in this together, and let's feed off of each other, learn from each other, and like athletes, train our minds and get stronger, because when we go back, we're all going to be busier than we know it. So thank you so much for joining, and
please take pictures of your swatches and let us see them from you guys.
Yeah, send them back to us. Post them on the page. We'd love to see it in the
We
comments.
would love to see the swatches after you guys are done and see how much fun you had with us. And I'm just so thankful for you guys being here with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. God bless.